Well, it looks like the Liver King came out and confessed to lying to everybody. In this video, I'm going to break down the apology video, I guess you can call it. We'll dig into a little bit more about what the Liver King says he has done and why I think that there are some negatives to the online fitness industry that is constantly lying to today's youth and the general population. All right, let's get into it.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up, because I'm embarrassed and ashamed, because I lied and I misled a lot of people. I've stated that this is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure in the public eye.
Okay. He started off okay, but that's just not true, because if you go to the More Plates, More Tates video that talks about this, he very clearly had a meticulous plan for blowing up on social media, presumably to use that as the front-end marketing for his company. So to say that he didn't expect to get this famous is just not true. And even if it was the case, what does it have anything to do with lying to the public about your steroid use and using it as a promotional tool to sell supplements?
It's been tricky as fuck to navigate. Well, clearly, I did it wrong, and I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes, I've done steroids.
No.
And yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King,
I wonder why he says hormone clinician. I instead of a doctor. I'm just curious if he thinks it's gonna like get out that it's not like an MD or DO that's giving him the hormones, or yeah, I don't know. I wonder if he thinks he means endocrinologist. I'm really not sure.
King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves. The 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life.
Okay, I don't think that has anything to do with, okay, maybe he's using that as somehow his reasoning for why he did all this, but I don't think it's good to bring up the fact that there's a lot of depressed and suicidal people as part of the reason you lied to everyone in your apology. I mean, it is definitely a problem that needs to be solved and is very complicated, and we have to approach it from a variety of angles, but I don't know if promoting unattainable physique that you said you got from an ancestral lifestyle, but really you were using human growth hormone and other steroids to get, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me.
Young men are hurting the most, feeling lost, weak, and submissive. So I made it my job to model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called ancestral living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer, so we can collectively express our highest and most dominant form. This is my fight. This is why I exist. While spreading the message, I've been on several podcasts, and when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch this stuff, not gonna touch this stuff, never touch the stuff. That was a lie. I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I convinced myself that I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the fuck am I cheating? I convinced.
Well, yeah, you're not a competitive athlete, and I agree that people can do what they want with their bodies. If you want to use steroids, like, I don't think it's the most healthy thing for you. And we're talking steroids, not TRT for people that need it, but you're using it as marketing material to sell supplements, which you're saying is how you attained this physique. That's the problem. It's not the fact that you're not a competitive athlete, so it's okay to use steroids. That's fine. That's your own prerogative. The problem is you get hundreds of millions of impressions, you've made hundreds of millions of dollars, and a lot of it is off of the very big shock value from this character, the Liver King, that has absolutely humongous biceps, abs that don't even look real. There's a lot of speculation on that. I think that his abs are real, just like extremely defined. Maybe there was some etching. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much on that, but that's the core issue.
Myself that this topic was a placeholder for a far more important conversation. I convinced myself that this would overshadow the 36 years of working out, usually twice a day, without PEDs. I've convinced myself that this was the vocal minority, usually in the fitness category, driving to an unproductive conversation. And I had convinced myself that this would be the wrong message to send to the 15-year-old boys. So I continually dismissed it, and I dug myself into a bigger and deeper hole. I have only...
He didn't dismiss it. He flat out lied about it. Also, I do get it's a tricky topic because you don't want to say, like, you can only get this physique if you use steroids, because then there's going to be impressionable minds who are going to be like, I want to look like that, I must have to use steroids. At the same time, you don't want to lie and say this is attainable without steroids, and then people who are eating these liver supplements and all the other supplements are going to be taking them, not achieving that body, and then have body dysmorphia and feel like they're never good enough. I was actually watching another video the other day, and it was a frat. They were all like doing bench press, and most of them couldn't even bench 225. And even myself, like, I was surprised to see that. I thought most of them would have been able to bench 225. And I guess it's because I watch a lot of fitness content and like am so warped by what like the standard general population can do in terms of lifting. And I'm not like the strongest lifter myself, but it's just, if you get into these niches, you always are constantly feeling like you're not strong enough, you're not big enough, you're not shredded enough. And so that is definitely a problem in itself as well.
I have only myself to blame. I did that. And it was all wrong. I will be better. I will talk about it openly because I believe that there's a time and a place for pharmacological intervention monitored and managed by a trained hormone physician. In 2021, when I was 43 years old, I didn't feel 100% physically or cognitively. So I went to get monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician to see what the fuck was going on with my life. And so yes, it's true. I have tried several peptide combinations in an effort to increase my growth hormone, and it didn't work, meaning that my levels still remained below the normal level. So yes, it's also true that I've tried pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, and I finally found success in managing therapeutic levels in the normal range.
Yeah, I'm surprised he was able to get pharmaceutical grade growth hormone. That's not really something that's generally prescribed. I know he was apparently spending like $10K per month or something to get it. I don't know like what the subscription was written for. Like, I don't think he actually, again, this is pure speculation, didn't have proper growth hormone levels. I think he just wanted to get bigger. It's really not something that we would generally do, is to treat with growth hormone, unless like you're a child that's not making growth hormone, or if you have some significant genetic cause for not actually creating your own growth hormone. But if he went 38 years of his life or whatever it was, I don't think that's probably the case. Also, lab testing, you have to be very careful with. For example, if you test your testosterone at night, it's going to be a lot different than if you test it in the morning. It's also going to be different if you just crash dieted. It'll be a lot lower than it usually would be. So there's a lot of factors that go into that testing. It seems, again, maybe I could be wrong, he was deficient in certain things, but I don't know if he needed to be blasting growth hormone like he was. But I do agree with the fact that there is a place and a time for hormone replacement therapy, and can make people feel a lot better if they really need it.
Yes, this is true. I've continued on with 0.6 cc's of testosterone per week, roughly 120 milligrams of testosterone a week. And no, I don't take any other steroids like nandrolone or winstrol, but I have tried them in the past without success.
I don't believe that. Those are like really strong steroids that like are way past the TRT that a lot of people take now when they're in their 40s and 50s as like a replacement. Nandrolone, winstrol, those are like the bodybuilding type steroids, and so I'm sure he was getting gains from it. Maybe he wasn't hyper responding to it, that's very possible, but I guess there's no way to know for sure.
Yes, it's also true that my blood chemistry got all fucked up while taking nandrolone and winstrol. My lipids got all deranged, my liver enzymes went sky high, which is why clinical oversight is an absolute must.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then in what he says is like without success. I mean, I'm sure he could pack on muscle with it, but those could be very hepatotoxic. So you definitely want to be careful. I mean, I don't recommend taking those substances whatsoever. But if for whatever reason you found yourself in a situation where you did already use them, or you're never going to listen and you're using them, you should have a clinician who knows what they're actually talking about, monitoring your labs and hopefully having a conversation on why that might not be the best course of action, but to make sure that you are safe.
Nope. The Liver King brand has had nothing, or at least very little, to do with my business success. My companies were already kicking ass, already successful before the Liver King public figure, growing at 50% year over year and still growing at the same pace. after the Liver King public figure.
That's just... There's no way that his Liver King brand of social media with 1.5 or 6 million followers on Instagram and more on TikTok did not drive insane supplement sales for him. I mean, they were showing that, I think there were articles that said he made like $100 million. It might be top line revenue, but still, I highly doubt the numbers were even close to that before. He might have still been very successful. I don't deny that, but the type of media you get, the amount of impressions he was getting, it definitely drives business results. Nope. And actually, he even talked about that in the leaked emails, that part of his plan was to basically go viral on social media. And I don't think it's too far of a stretch to say that it's because he wanted to drive back results to the businesses.
Nope. I've never had ab implants, ab etching, or any other plastic surgery, and I sure as fuck never actually had gene editing done in Singapore. I made all of that up. It was all intended to be a joke, and that's an expression of ancestral 10 and 10. Have a little goddamn fun. Ultimately, why did I, or why do I do them? When I talk about the 85% of the population that suffers from self-esteem issues, that's me. I'm part of that statistic. This is why I fucking work myself to death in the gym. This is why I do 12 to 15 blood-burning workouts a week, just to feel like I'm okay. Still, I have to absolutely crush myself to do so, and I'm wrecked physically and cognitively, and hormone replacement has helped in a profound and significant way.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, it definitely seems like, again, I'm not diagnosing here, but he could have had some sort of body dysmorphia. Once you start going down the path of steroid use and things like that, it feels like you want to use it more and get bigger and bigger. I'm sure he's also working extremely hard. Even if you use steroids, you cannot get this physique unless you are really pushing your muscles and working out hard and consistent. And so I don't doubt any of that. And it is sad to see that he felt like he couldn't be transparent about it. And he's only being transparent about it now because he got exposed. But with that said, the main problem is you put a massive lie out there to a lot of young impressionable children, teens, young adults, and older adults, and that's where the real crux of the issue is.
And still, I believe that the path to paradise is paved in fucking hell. I previously have said in a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated as fuck topic. I knew I needed to take this opportunity to openly discuss everything for me to be a better human. If there are any questions that remain unanswered, send them my way. I fully own that I fucked up. I am as sorry as a man can be. And all I can do is take extreme ownership right now, be better, and lead myself to a better life as a better human. Again, thank you to everyone for the support, the criticism, the love, the hate, and above all else, the loyalty. Liver King.
All right. Well, I think there were some good parts of the apology. I think some of it wasn't great. I also don't know if he was also lying in some of it still. It's tough to, once he deliberately lied on such a massive scale, there's no evidence to support the fact that he's not going to lie again. I hope he takes this as an opportunity to be transparent about his use of steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs, because I do like that there are bodybuilders and other people out there that are transparent about it. Again, I don't recommend using steroids or anything like that. However, it is something that happens, and the problem is by lying about it, you also leave a false impression of what's possible for a lot of the youth, and that is going to lead to mental health issues for lots of other people out there as well. And so I hope he takes this as a learning opportunity. It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. Oh, and if you enjoy these reaction videos, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.